Today, we're going to dive into a head-to-head comparison of two major AI tools. But look, this isn't some abstract, theoretical benchmark. This is a real-world story from a single developer's experience trying to get a job done. It's a question pretty much every developer is asking themselves right now. You hit a snag, you've got a coding problem, so you turn to an AI for a little help. But does it really matter which one you use? Well, as it turns out, the answer is a big, resounding yes. So, in one corner, you've got ChatGPT, right? The big name, the incumbent that everyone knows. It's trained on this massive but ultimately static data set. And in the other corner, we have the challenger, Perplexity. Its secret weapon? It can access the live, up-to-the-minute web. And as we're about to see, that one little difference, well, it changes absolutely everything. So first up, our developer did what most of us would do. They turned to the tool they knew best, ChatGPT. They typed in their coding question, probably expecting a quick, clean, modern solution to get things moving. And here's the immediate feedback. The code it spat out wasn't totally wrong, but something just felt off. You know that feeling? It technically worked, but it felt old, like a solution you would have found on a forum post from a few years back. And this, right here, gets to the heart of the issue. Because ChatGPT's knowledge is basically frozen in time, its answer was more of a generic best guess. It was drawing from its old training data, not from what developers consider best practice right now. All right, so next, the developer took the exact same question, word for word, and popped it into Perplexity. And this is where the whole experience just took a complete 180. That was the developer's exact reaction. Not a little better, not a slight improvement, but crazy different. We're not talking about a small upgrade here. This was a fundamental shift in the quality and the relevance of the answer. So how is it so different? Well, Perplexity wasn't just guessing based on old info. It was actively scouring the current web. It was pulling solutions from the absolute latest GitHub repos, citing recent Stack Overflow discussions. It even found forum posts talking about recent bug fixes for this exact issue. And on top of all that, it gave multiple options, not just one single answer. So what's the secret sauce? How could the output be so much better? It really all comes down to where the information is coming from and one absolutely crucial feature, citations. Okay, let's break down ChatGPT's method first. It's working with static training data. A good way to think about it is like having a textbook that was printed in 2022. I mean, it's incredibly smart about everything up to that point, but it has zero idea what's happened since. In a field like coding that moves at lightning speed, that's a serious handicap. Perplexity, on the other hand, has real-time web access. So instead of that one textbook, it's like having a library card to the entire live internet. It can find the newest documentation, the freshest code examples, and the most current solutions being discussed today. And here's the real kicker. Perplexity didn't just give the code. It cited its sources for every single snippet. This is a total game changer because it means the developer can actually click through, verify the solution for themselves, and really understand the context behind it. That's how you build trust. That's how you get confidence in an AI's answer. Look, this all sounds great on paper. But what does it actually mean when the rubber meets the road? Well, our developer decided to put it to the ultimate test with a task that's notoriously difficult. The challenge was to integrate a brand new API. Now, this is the ultimate stress test for any AI assistant, because any tool that relies on old data is going to fall flat on its face. By definition, there is no old data to pull from. The documentation is new, best practices are just starting to emerge. It's a tough problem. So here's how Perplexity just crushed it. First, it went out and found the absolute latest official documentation. Then, and this part is just amazing, it found real-world examples from other developers on places like GitHub who had just implemented this very thing themselves. It didn't have to guess. It could show what was already working out in the wild, right now. And all of this led to the most incredible results of the whole experiment. The developer reported that their debugging time, all that time you spend fixing little errors and just trying to get the code to work, it dropped by an unbelievable 60%. That's not just a small improvement. That's a revolution for your workflow. That's more than half your time back. So after this intense head-to-head, what was the final conclusion? Is one tool just better? What's the final verdict here? Well, the final verdict isn't that one tool is always bad and the other is always good. It's about using the right tool for the job. But for coding with modern libraries, new APIs, or any framework that's constantly evolving, the developer's conclusion was crystal clear. Having live web access isn't just a nice-to-have feature, it's a massive, undeniable advantage. And that really leaves us with the developer's final question, which I'm going to pass along to all of you. For them, this one experience was a total game changer, and it highlighted a huge difference in what these tools can do. So, have you experienced this yourself? I'm curious, what do you think is the future of AI in your own coding workflow?